Yeah, it's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
This is Keith Sports News, KSN. That's right. Curt Cignetti did win. Big time. Yes. Welcome to Keith Sports News, episode 105. Yeah, when I heard that audio, oh my goodness. He legitimately said that. It's pretty simple. I win. Google me. Oh, man. Man, this coach, he means business. Just like that. His second season with Indiana, he wins the national championship. Just amazing. I mean, it's crazy. This might be I know we're only in January, but this might be the biggest sports story of 2026. It might be. Indiana Hoosiers winning the football national championship. I think that will be the biggest story of the year, sports year. So far, that national championship game is I know we're still in January, but that is one of the best national championship games I've ever seen. It might be the best championship game I saw in 2026. Yeah. Wow. Oh yeah, I'm wearing this again, but this time, no shirt. Oh yeah, chest hair. There you go. I think a lot of people, when they wear this, they don't wear a shirt. So this is my first time doing this, wearing this robe that I got for Christmas without a shirt. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so this will be a shorter episode, which I'm glad it is, because I just felt like I just did that last episode, which was, an hour and 40 minutes? Yeah, because that was on Tuesday, and here we are. It's already Friday. How is it 3 days later already? All right. So, what are we going to talk about? You hear me say that once in a while, so I made a list of the things that I will talk about. This is going to be mainly about football again. Now that the CFP National Championship game is... the college football season's over. That means the NFL season is coming to an end pretty soon. Super Bowl is approaching. All right. And then later I'll get into the Australian Open. First thing we'll talk about here. And I get ESPN notifications. So sometimes if there's a certain notification that I want to talk about, I'll talk about it real quick. And one of them is from ESPN's Pete Thamel. The CFP National Championship game had 30.1 million viewers. That is a lot. That's amazing. Seriously. Because this was probably the most unexpected CFP National Championship game ever. 3 years in a row, no SEC team, and I think a lot of people were happy about that. And people like to see a championship game that had two unexpected programs. You know, you got Miami, the team that some people thought they might not make the playoff. You know, they went on this historic playoff run, beating Texas A&M on Kyle Field, beating last year's national champion, Ohio State, and beating Ole Miss on a comeback, late touchdown. And the championship game was in Miami. Then you got Indiana, which I heard this, I guess this is true. This program had the most losses ever. A team that hasn't won the Big Ten championship game in over 30 years, or maybe 35 plus years. Number 1 ranked team in the country, undefeated. They crushed Alabama. The only team that won, that had a bye in the playoff. And they also crushed Oregon. And just like that, in the national championship game, went on to win, that made history by becoming the first team that went 16-0. Yeah. This is historic. People are going to talk about this Indiana team, Indiana season forever. Yeah, I'm glad they won. They deserved it. Fernando Mendoza is one hell of a quarterback. I think he's ready for the NFL. I wish him well. I guess he will get drafted by the Vegas Raiders. We'll find out in 3 months. Yeah, the draft isn't until late April. Gotta wait another 3 months. Listen to this. In 2023, Indiana's conference record, 1-8. Their overall record, 3-9. And it's just unbelievable. Only 2 seasons ago, how things can change. They were in last place in the Big Ten. That is just amazing how, oh my gosh, in just 2 seasons, they win the national championship. Wow. It's hard to put into words. Oh, yeah. So, I think I mentioned this in the last episode. Indiana, about 50 years ago, I think Indiana had an undefeated basketball season. They've always been a basketball program until last year. Took over football, the Kurt Signetti era. Wow. So, seriously, what a story. That first 16-0 team, first national championship in Indiana's program history. It's amazing. It is just amazing. So yeah, I did a live stream of me watching that game. I enjoyed it from start to finish. The next one I'll do will be for the Super Bowl. And let's get into the NFL before we get into the conference championship predictions. Got another notification from Adam Schefter. Said that the NFL Divisional Round playoff games had 39.2 million viewers. Wow. Which is, I believe, the most in a long, long time. I think that's what it says on my phone for the notification. Second most since 1988. I wonder what were the 1988 matchups, because TV was a lot different back then. 1988, that's 38 years ago. You know? So, that's great. I mean, all 4 matchups were big matchups. First one, Buffalo Bills at Denver Broncos. A rematch from last year's first round wild card game. I think a lot of people knew that game would be close, including myself. Second game was the San Francisco 49ers against the Seattle Seahawks, even though that was a blowout, but it was a NFC West showdown rivalry. Isn't that weird? I still can't believe the 49ers beat the Eagles on the road. To me, that was the surprise. Although, the thing is, the Eagles, they won the Super Bowl last year. It's not easy. Not only winning the Super Bowl back-to-back years, but it's also hard to get in it back-to-back years. And then the Sunday games, Houston Texans, New England Patriots. You know, the big question is, can the Texans win another road playoff game? New England's back without, no Tom Brady, no Bill Belichick. It's a different era in Patriots football. And then the final game, which was the game that I was looking forward to the most, LA Rams against the Chicago Bears. We got LA, city of LA, big on sports. Matthew Stafford, great quarterback. Some people say, or a lot of people say, he's going to be the NFL MVP of the season. Then you got the Chicago Bears. For many years, had losing seasons, but hosting another playoff game. Yeah, all 4 of these matchups were big matches. I'm not sure which game got the most viewers. I wonder which game got the most viewers. I think it's either Bills Broncos or Rams Bears. I think those were the top 2 games. I think they were for a lot of people. Especially if your favorite team isn't in any of these divisional round playoff games. 39.2 million. Wow. That's great. We'll see how many viewers for the conference championship game, which we will get into right now. All right, I guess we'll play some more NFL music. How about we play the TV music? You can hear it. Yeah, you always hear this right before the game comes on, or the presentation. So here we go, NFL Conference Championship game predictions on Sunday. The first one we got is the AFC Championship game at 2 p.m. Central on CBS. New England Patriots at the Denver Broncos. Now, I'll say this. This AFC Championship game to me is not an exciting one. Mainly because of Bo Nix. No Bo Nix. Not going to be playing, sadly. All because of what happened towards the end of their last game. He suffered a fractured ankle or something like that. It's pretty. It was that bad, man. Sean Payton broke the news. So yeah, that was very unfortunate. I mean, that really sucks, man. Like, getting injured at the worst time of the season. It's almost like the wrong team won. No Buffalo. I mean, if the Buffalo Bills were in this game, this AFC Championship game will be much more exciting because they would be facing their rivals, the AFC East. Dang, man. No Buffalo Bills, no Bo Nix. This game is not that exciting. I mean, I'll watch it. I'll put it on. But anyways, the game's in Denver, but New England's the favorite. No Bo Nix. This is what happens when you don't have your starting quarterback. Their backup quarterback, his name is Jarrett Stidham. I never heard of him. I've never heard of this guy. I've never heard of this player. I think a lot of people never heard of him before. He hasn't thrown a pass since 2023, over 2 years. And this is his first game as a starter, is his biggest one yet. What the heck? That is weird. So that's a shame, man. That's a damn shame. Yeah, the game's in Denver, but still, I'm sure New England has similar weather. It's going to be cold, I think. Let's see what the weather's going to be like. Let's look at the matchup predictor first. It'll tell us the weather as well. Anyways, New England and Denver, AFC Championship game. I remember these two teams met in 2 AFC Championship games in 2014 and 2016. Tom Brady against Peyton Manning. But now it's Drake May against Jarrett Stidham. Yep. Denver, matchup predictor, New England, 59.4%. Denver with a 40.6%. And the weather's going to be, holy crap, 21 degrees. Well, it'll be crazy if Denver can pull this win. I don't see it happening. This might sound weird. Well, because, you know, I usually don't like New England. Well, I mainly didn't like New England when they had Tom Brady, the Brady era, but now it's a different team. I'll be rooting for New England. Yeah, I like Mike Vrabel. He seems like a cool coach. He used to play with Tom Brady with the Patriots, so yeah. His first season, has that ever happened? A head coach in his first season with a team goes on to win the Super Bowl. Has that ever happened before? I'm not sure. But I know that a head coach has never won a Super Bowl on 2 different teams. Sean Payton can be the first one, but I don't see it happening. I got New England winning this game. I'll give you my score prediction. I think they'll win this by... I'm going to say New England 27, Denver 13. I guess New England's going to win. Got New England winning by 2 touchdowns. Oh, game's on CBS. There's CBS music. Second game, 5:30 p.m. on Fox Central Time. LA Rams at the Seattle Seahawks. I'm glad this is the second game because this is a huge game. Because every year they alternate between, you know, CBS and Fox. Games in Seattle. Last time the Rams faced the Seahawks, it went into overtime. That's where the Seattle's, they went for the 2-point conversion and got the win, right? That was huge. People said that was the game of the year. And here they meet again, the matchup predictor. I think it has to be Seattle after what they did in their first win. Yep, 53.8% for Seattle Seahawks, 46.2% for the LA Rams. The question is, will the Seahawks win this game easily like they did last weekend? I don't think so. I think this will be a closer game for the Seahawks. It'll be a tougher matchup. And then they got the LA Rams, the team that was losing to the 8-9 Carolina Panthers. Only won by 3 points when they were supposed to be a 10.5-point favorite, right? They went on to win in chilly, freezing temperatures in Soldier Field in overtime. Can Matthew Stafford and the Rams do it again? Yeah, they can. It seems like this Rams team just won't go down. They'll find a way. They will somehow find a way. How will Sam Darnold perform? First year with the Seahawks, goes on to the NFC Championship game. Now, 5-Tayer, I know you're listening. I guess these are your two least favorite teams, right? So I guess, who would you rather have winning this NFC Championship game? Or do you not care between Rams and Seahawks? Because this is going to be weird for you, because the 49ers are your favorite team. You're going to be watching one of your least favorite teams compete in the Super Bowl at the 49ers stadium. Isn't that weird? I don't know if that's ever happened before, where a team competed in a Super Bowl at their rival's stadium. I don't remember that happening at all. Well, I know you're going to be cheering for the winner of the AFC Championship game, and I guess I will too. I guess I will as well. I do. Well, yeah, I did say I do. I wanted the AFC team to win it this year, because for once, no Kansas City Chiefs. That's really the main reason. Well, at first I wanted the Buffalo Bills. They lost. After they lost, I rooted for the Houston Texans. They lost. After the Texans, I rooted for the Chicago Bears. They lost. I'm 0 for 3. I'm cursed. Well, I guess I want New England to win. That means they'll probably lose. Maybe somehow Denver will win. This game between the Rams and Seahawks, I think it'll be a close game. But you know what? This is what I had in my brackets. I had either the Rams or the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl. I think the winner of this NFC Championship game will win the Super Bowl. Which team do I want? I want the Seahawks. I will cheer for the Seahawks only because I don't like the Rams. Never liked them ever since they beat the Saints in the NFC Championship game 7 years ago. I know that was a different Rams team back then, but still. And you know what? Yeah, I do want the Seattle Seahawks to win this. I do like Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, I remember he used to play for USC. All right. But I am going to pick the LA Rams. Somehow they will find a way to win again. I think they'll win this game by a field goal again. I guess they'll win this maybe. Might be, I don't know, 30-27, something like that. People say the NFL is still rigged. Maybe it still is. Maybe they want to have New England versus LA in the Super Bowl, like that's happened before. Maybe they want LA to win the Super Bowl again because LA Dodgers, they won the World Series back-to-back years. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it's the Rams' time to shine again. And it's already been 4 years since the Rams won the Super Bowl, you know? Anyways, that's what I got. I got Rams, Patriots Super Bowl. Which, to be honest, that's the one Super Bowl matchup that I don't want, but I think it's going to happen. But I'll still watch the Super Bowl no matter what. But what if Denver gets in the Super Bowl? They might get crushed like they did in Super Bowl 48, you know? So there you have it. My conference championship game predictions. I don't know, maybe the Seahawks will crush the Rams like they did to the 49ers. I don't know. Maybe Denver Broncos will shock us. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. But those are my predictions. And it'll be interesting. It's always, I guess it is always interesting to find out which two teams will meet in the Super Bowl. In this case, it's number 60. All right. And one last thing before I move on to the next topic. I was listening to Christopher Mad Dog Russo, my number one favorite podcast. I think a caller said, you know, for years, NFL's had a Saturday playoff games and then Sunday playoff games. What if they had one conference championship game on Saturday and one conference championship game on Sunday? I've never thought of that, actually. But I don't think that's ever going to happen because Sunday is always NFL game day, you know. I don't know what's going on Saturday night. But yeah. All right. The music stopped. Perfect timing, which means it's now time to talk about the Australian Open, which I've been watching quite a bit, actually. It's not easy, but yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I'm starting to sweat, folks. Should I take off my shirt or take this off? I'm starting to sweat. Well, all right, folks, I'm going shirtless. I don't want to get too hot. It's not cold outside. It will be this weekend. If it's really cold outside and there's no heater on in this room, it'll be cold in here, but it's not that cold. What's the temperature right now as I speak? It's 58, which that's a nice temperature for outdoor stuff. Yeah, but that's okay. I don't think you guys mind if I'm shirtless because you don't really have to watch the video. You can just listen. It's just talking, you know. Sometimes I do show you something like the other week I showed you my Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens action figure, but most of the time it's just me talking, not really presenting anything. Anyways, let's get into the Australian Open. That is really the big thing happening this week. To me, because I've always enjoyed watching the Australian Open. 10 years ago was really like the first Grand Slam final I watched, which was the 2016 Australian Open. Yeah. All right, so let's go back to the second round. Yeah, I forgot to put second and third round update. let's see here. Not really many upsets here. Let's go to let's start off with the women's singles. Let's go to Tuesday. Emma Raducanu got eliminated in the early second round. She is the 2021 U.S. Open champion, which was the most unexpected Grand Slam final ever. Because for her, she had to win like 3 qualifying matches to get into the main draw, and somehow she went all the way. However, she didn't really face many top-seeded players because that was the same year where a ton of upsets occurred. You know? Yeah, I know. It is weird. It is weird. But she got eliminated. And I like to listen to these players' press conferences. I'll have to hear what she has to say. I'm a little behind on the press conferences, mainly because I listen to a whole bunch of sports podcasts. Okay, so that was Tuesday. Wednesday, Amanda Anisimova took care of business. I heard that there was quite a bit of American females still in this tournament. So that's great. I wonder if, including Madison Keys. Madison Keys, who won the Australian Open last year. See if she can do it again. Or maybe a different American female. I hope. Because this year, like I said before, this is a huge year for USA sports. Got the Winter Olympics around the corner in February. And then after the Winter Olympics, not too long after that, in March, is the World Baseball Classic. And then in June and July, in the summer, is the World Cup. That's huge. Okay, Jessica Pegula won in the second round, who is the daughter of Buffalo Bills and Sabres owner Terry Pegula. All right. Madison Keys also won. Okay, that was on Wednesday, and now Thursday, third round. Coco Gauff advances to the round of 16. Okay, so I tuned in at 8 p.m. That's when ESPN2 went on the air. Yeah, I tuned in live. They were showing number 1 seeded Aryna Sabalenka. She took on Anastasia Potapova. And that match ended in 2 tight sets. Sabalenka was able to win 7-6 tiebreaker 7-4, 7-6 tiebreaker 9-7. Yeah, you have to win by 2 in the tiebreaker. And Potapova, she's Russian, but late last year she switched to Austria. That's interesting. Another one was Daria Kazakina. I think this happened last year or the year before. She's also Russian, but she switched to Australian. Because, you know, when you're a Russian athlete, they can't show the Russian flag because of what happened almost 4 years ago, you know. Yeah. And speaking of Russians, are Russians allowed to be in the Olympics? Russian athletes? I don't think so. So that sucks for Alexander Ovechkin, because he's Russian. They can't let him be in the Olympics all because he's Russian, and this is his final season with the NHL. That's a shame. All right, moving on here. Naomi Osaka. They showed the end of her match. Had a tense conversation with Sorana Cirstea from Romania. I wonder what that was about. I have to listen to Naomi's press conference or Serena's press conference, because usually Naomi's pretty chill. I don't know. Iga Swiatek took care of business. And there's a young American player, only 18 years old, Iva Jovic from USA. She's in the 4th round. She is in the round of 16. She just beat the number 7 seed, Jasmine Paolini. Wow. Amazing. Evlina Svitolina also advances to the round of 16. She's married to Gael Monfils, but she didn't change her last name to, her name isn't Elina Monfils. It's still Svitolina. Okay, and later tonight, more 3rd round matches. We got Karolina Pliskova, former number 1 player in the world, taking on the defending champion Madison Keys. Jessica Pegula also in action. Same with Amanda Anisimova. All right. And then Saturday early morning, we got Iga Swiatek and Naomi Osaka in action. Naomi's taking on an Aussie. Usually whenever a player is playing in their home country, the crowd would be on their side a lot of times. All right, so the men's singles here. Tuesday, I did watch some of the Riley Opelka match against Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. Riley Opelka is the tallest active player, who is 6'11". That is crazy. I mean, there's quite a bit of NBA players that height, Kevin Nash, former wrestler, he's 6'11", maybe 6'10", but still, that's a tall ass man, Seriously. Opelka lost the match, but it went into 5 sets. He lost 3-6, 6-7. I have to say it like that, I guess. Tiebreaker 3-7. Opelka won sets 3 and 4, 7-5, 6-4, and he lost the 5th set 4-6. Yeah, I have to. That's how you say the score in tennis, like when you're the chair umpire. Game, set, match. Alejandro Davidovich Fokina, 3-2, 3-6, 7-6, 5-7, 4-6, 6-4. That's how you say this. That's how you say the score. It can be confusing at first, but after a while, you know how it works. Daniil Medvedev, who is Russian, but he is entertaining. I like listening to his press conferences. He's got a pretty great voice. I can kind of see him becoming maybe a tennis commentator in the future. He's still in it. Last year he won. I think he lost the first round in all 4 Grand Slams. I think that's true. We'll see how Taylor Fritz does in the American male. Okay, that was Tuesday. Wednesday, Stan Wawrinka. Stan the man. How old is he? 40? This is his last season. I don't know if he's going to retire. I don't know when he's retiring this season. Is it going to be after the U.S. Open? I'm not sure exactly. But he won in a 5-set thriller against a player from France, Arthur Gia. Stan won the match. I'll say the score again like the chair umpire, 3-2, 4-6, 6-3, 3-6, 7-5, 7-6, tiebreaker 10-3. Wow. That is awesome. There's a possibility. What if we get Stan Wawrinka against Novak Djokovic And that can happen in the quarterfinals. That would be like an old-time matchup. Speaking of Novak, he took care of business. The number 4 seed, I think he might be the third favorite to win this. Well, the 3 seed is Alexander Zverev, who was the runner-up at last year's Australian Open final. Okay, Alexander Zverev took care of business. That was Wednesday's matches. And now to Thursday, Carlos Alcaraz took care of business. The favorite to win. My prediction, my pick to win this thing. He's never been in the AO Open final. But I think it's his time, I feel like. Oh, man. Alejandro Davidovich Fokina had to quit his match against Tommy Paul. These injuries suck, man. They really do. How about Medvedev with another comeback? Down, losing the first 2 sets, and he won sets 3, 4, and 5. That's always impressive when a player's down 2 sets to love and wins sets 3, 4, and 5. Man. Lerner Tien, the youngster American, into the 4th round, the round of 16. I think he was in the round of 16 last year, so back-to-back years. Lerner Tien, the American player. That's awesome. Okay, Casper Ruud from Norway. This is interesting, a Norwegian player. You know, Norway, they got the most medals in the 2022 Winter Olympics. They might get the most medals again. Yannick Sinner took care of business, one of the big favorites to win this. Taylor Fritz also took care of business. I was watching a little bit of this match. Number 21 seed Danish Shapovalov against Marin Cilic. Shapovalov is left-handed, but he lost in straight sets. And Marin Cilic is a lot older than Shapovalov. Stefanos Tsitsipas eliminated. Man, what happened to this guy? He used to be in the top 5 or top 10. His ranking is falling. That's the way it goes sometimes, you know. And as I speak, Alexander Zverev is in action against Cameron Norrie. By the time you see this, you'll know who won that match. And right before I started this recording, I was watching the Francis Tiafoe. Yeah, he just turned, 28 years old? He's the player that, to me, he looks like he has his ass sticking out when he's about to serve. He's taking on Alex de Minaur, who is the crowd favorite because he's Australian. All right, and now the third round matches for tonight. Any big matches? We got Ben Shelton in action. He's a cool guy. He's also left-handed. I'll be rooting for the Americans. I heard that the last time an Australian won this tournament on the men's singles side was 50 years ago. Was it Rod Laver? It might have been Rod Laver. A couple years ago, a female won the Australian Open. That's Ashley Barty, who retired at a very, very young age, mainly because she just, I guess she lost the motivation, you know. It's kind of like in the old days, Bjorn Borg from Sweden retired at a young age, you know. He wasn't even 30. We got a huge matchup early Saturday, 3rd round, Stan Wawrinka against Taylor Fritz. I think I can watch that match. I might watch that live, actually. That will be interesting. Stan, he did win the Australian Open. I think it was back in 2015. Okay, Novak is also in action, as well as, here's an interesting one, Marin Cilic against Casper Ruud. I can see Cilic win this match again. He's from Croatia. We got Neil Medvedev against Lerner Tien in the 4th round. And Carlos Alcaraz against Tommy Paul in the 4th round. So, yeah. the tournament is almost halfway over already because it's like 2 weeks, Also, when I tuned in, or I think this was from late last night, they were showing men's doubles, which is very unusual. Usually they won't show any doubles until like the semifinals. But they showed this one because they had Nick Kyrgios and Thanasi Kokkinakis in action, who won. They won this doubles they won the Australian Open doubles in 2022, and I'm glad they won because they were really entertaining. It's funny because years ago I did not like Nick Kyrgios because of the way he behaves on court. He's one of those naughty players. But recent years I start to like him. It's weird because years ago he played tennis without wearing a hat. Ever since he wore his cap backwards, I start to like him. It's like he changed his character. It's like in wrestling, when a wrestler changes their character, they change their ring attire. That's what happened to Nick Kyrgios. Nick Kyrgios was in the Wimbledon final in 2022. He seems like a kind of a likable guy, But he did not play singles. Unfortunately, he's been dealing with some serious injuries. But doubles, you can kind of play because you don't have to move around as much. Not much running because you're with a partner. That's why for Venus Williams, I know she's 45. I mean, she played pretty well for her age. Maybe she should just stick to doubles. Because some of the older players, they'll just play doubles, Speaking of doubles, let me see here. Let me check in on the doubles real quick. I don't really follow doubles. Let me see if there's any interesting teams here to me. Men's doubles. Who is the number 1 seed? Oh, it's a Great Britain team. Okay. I'm still looking. A lot of these players I've never heard of. I think most of these players are just doubles players, but when they play singles, their singles ranking is very, very low. Okay, how about women's doubles? Let's see. Any interesting teams? I do follow women's tennis more. There are more female tennis players that I know than male. It's mainly because of the upsets. There's more upsets on the women's side than on the male side, men's side. If you know what I'm saying. Who is the number 1 seed? Oh, it's Taylor Townsend and Siniakova. Siniakova, she got crushed against Amanda Anisimova in singles match, but she's a fantastic doubles player. I'm sure they're the favorite to win. Let's see, anyone else? I'm just going by the names that I know. Clara Tauson, she's with Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. Now, Clara, she lost against that young female Canadian player. What's her name? Victoria? So I don't know if she'll still play doubles. Sometimes when a singles player loses a hard-fought match, they'll quit their doubles match. They don't feel like playing their doubles match. They're too exhausted, and it's their mental health, really, if you know what I'm saying. Jasmine Paolini, she's on doubles, number 2 seed. She lost. She kind of got crushed against that young American 18-year-old. Will she still play doubles? Maybe so. I figured they would. They're the number 2 seed. Okay, how about mixed doubles? That's a male and a female playing. Oh! Nick Kyrgios teamed up with Leylah Fernandez. I wish I knew that before. I would have tuned into that. But they won. They won their first round match. Okay, so we get to watch Nick play some more tennis. He's with Leylah Fernandez from Canada. Leylah's that, I think she's what, like 5'6", who's half Filipino, like me. Okay. Well, I'll cheer for them. I will definitely cheer for them. I think most people will too. I think the mixed doubles have just begun. Siniakova is also in mixed doubles, as well as Taylor Townsend. Okay. All right. So there you have it. Australian Open update. And I think I'll be back on Monday. Yeah. Because there's no more Monday Night Football. All right. Now to the birthdays. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 birthdays. All right, so we're gonna do a belated birthday. So let me pull the first person. Bear with me for a second. I like these famous birthdays. You get to find them, you know. When you watch sports for many, many years, you get to, you know, you're familiar with these athletes' names, you know. All right, so starting off with belated birthday. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait a minute. No. Excuse me. We got 5. Okay, so never mind. We have a total of 7 birthdays. Okay. Yeah, I know. A lot. Okay, so first one, we got first belated birthday. Let me get it on here. The text. Belated birthday. That is... Oh, wait, nope. That's the wrong one. I thought I put it on here. What the heck? There we go. Alize Cornet, who is a French tennis player. She's 36. I don't know if she's still... No, I think she's retired. I'm going to read her what it says on here about French professional tennis player, once ranked 11 in all of women's tennis. She has won several titles in her professional career, including Wimbledon and the U.S. Open in 2014. Is that doubles? Because I don't think she's won a Grand Slam singles. I think that's doubles. Because it doesn't say if it's singles or doubles. Before fame, because I know quite a bit of tennis history, so I'm pretty sure that was doubles. Before fame, she was quite successful at the junior level after first beginning to play tennis at the age of 4. Trivia: in 2017, she withdrew from competition due to a torn pectoral muscle. That's a weird trivia, okay. Family life: she one brother, Sebastian, whom she considers one of her greatest heroes. Her parents are named Francis and Patricia. Associated with, she has said that Andy Roddick is one of the people she most admires. Let me see, is she still playing? I don't think she is. Yep, she's now a former player. She retired last year. Okay, so she just retired. When did she retire? I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. She retired in September of last year. Okay. Wait, I don't see that. This famous birthday says she has won several titles in her professional career, including Wimbledon and the U.S. Open in 2014. What? Because it doesn't say that she won U.S. Open and Wimbledon in 2014. Is this false information? I don't know. But I remember her final few years as a player. Okay, next player. Sorry for if you hear all this clicking. That's me, trying to find the name as well as the article. Carlos Ruiz, who is a former baseball catcher from Panama, the country Panama. MLB catcher known as Cooch, or Chooch, helped the Philadelphia Phillies win the World Series in 2008. Before fame, he played for Panama at the 2006 inaugural World Baseball Classic. Wonderful. Trivia, he was named to his first career All-Star game in 2012. Family life, he named both of his sons Carlos. Associated with, he joined first baseman Ryan Howard on the Phillies in 2006. So, I do actually remember this catcher. It's the same with Alize Cornet, her final few years. Yeah, it's the same with, I would, remember his final few years as a player. But he is one of the greatest Philadelphia Phillies catchers in history. The next player we have is Richard Rodgers, 34. Oh yeah, Carlos Ruiz is 47. Forgot to say his age. Richard Rodgers, I don't know if he's still playing in the NFL. He is about NFL tight end that was selected by the Green Bay Packers as a third-round pick in the 2014 draft. He was later signed by the Los Angeles Chargers in September 2022. He has also played for the Philadelphia Eagles, Arizona Cardinals, and the Washington Commanders during his NFL career. Before fame, prior to being drafted, he played college football at UC Berkeley. He played college football at UCal for only 3 years. In high school, he was a star basketball player and helped his team. To multiple state championships. Trivia: he caught a career-high 58 passes during the 2015 NFL regular season with the Packers. He also recorded new career highs in receiving yards and touchdowns that season. Family life: although he was born in Martinez, California, he grew up living with his family in Worcester, Massachusetts area. His father, Richard Sr., was former teammates with Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera is a former NFL head coach. His father was also part of a famous play in Cal football history. Richard is also cousins with former NFL player Jarius Byrd. Associated with, he was taken during the 2014 NFL Draft, just like Odell Beckham Jr. and Aaron Donald. So, Richard Rodgers' highlight of his career was when, was this in 2014, 2015? But basically, the quarterback for the Packers was also named Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers threw a Hail Mary touchdown pass to Richard Rodgers. You can look that up on YouTube. It's amazing. Amazing highlight. Is Richard Rodgers still playing? Nope. He's no longer playing in the NFL. He retired in 2022, his last year. He's a big dude, 6'4", tight end. That's the same position Travis Kelce plays in. Next belated birthday is Ray Rice, 39 years old, former NFL football player, NFL running back who helped lead the Baltimore Ravens to a Super Bowl title in 2013. That was the first Super Bowl I watched live, and it's still the best one I watched live. He rushed over 1,000 yards 4 straight years from 2009 to 2012. In February 2014, they had to put this, he was arrested for assaulting his fiancée, Janae Palmer, and subsequently suspended indefinitely from the NFL and cut by the Ravens. Before fame, he lost his father and his cousin by the time he was 11 and survived with his 3 siblings off of his mom's special education teacher salary. Trivia, he had a standout career at Rutgers University and was drafted in the 2nd round by the Ravens in 2008. Family life, he was raised by his mom alongside his 3 siblings in New Rochelle. He married Janae Palmer in 2014, and he has a daughter named Raven. Associated with, he shared time with Willis McGahee for a few years in the Ravens' backfield. So I do remember Ray Rice playing for the Ravens his last year or two before he pretty much got fired by the NFL's Baltimore Ravens because of what he did to his fiance. But so I remembered the video. Yeah, they were in an elevator. You can look this up on YouTube. Ray Rice assaulting his fiance. And I think he knocked her out too, which is freaking crazy. It's like a scene that you see in a movie or something. But he also, it turns out they still got married. I mean, what? That is crazy. It doesn't say. See, this happened in February 2014, where he assaulted his fiance. Then it says they got married in 2014. I don't know what month, but that is kind of crazy. They still got married after that? What? I'm lost for words. But when he was playing, he was really great. Some of these players, man, they're great athletes, but their personal life is something else. You know what I'm saying? Okay, one more for belated birthday, and this is a big-time star from the WNBA. You may know who I'm talking about. Plays for the Indiana Fever. That is Caitlin Clark, 24 years old. She's younger than me. Hey, born in Des Moines, Iowa. All right. She became one of the greatest collegiate players of all time, averaging over 26.5 points per game her freshman year at the University of Iowa. She became a 2-time National Player of the Year and was awarded the 2021 Don Staley Award for being the nation's top point guard. She was drafted as the first overall pick by the Indiana Fever in the 2024 WNBA draft. For fame, she attended Dowling Catholic High School in West Des Moines, Iowa. I thought my camera went out. While there, she was a two-time Max Preps High School All-American, a Naismith All-American, and the winner of the Gatorade Iowa's Girls Basketball Player of the Year award. Trivia: along her impressive on-court accolades, she was also a member of the National Honor Society and the Presidential Honor Roll. In 2021, she recorded back-to-back 30-point triple-doubles. She signed a large endorsement deal with the Gatorade. In December of 2023, she announced that she will be declaring for the WNBA draft in 2024. She became the all-time top scorer in NCAA history that year. Family life: she is the daughter of Brent Clark and Ann Nizzy Clark. 11 of her family members have played sports in college, including her dad, who played baseball and basketball at Simpson College, as well as her older brother Blake, who played football at Iowa State University. She began dating Connor McCaffrey in 2023. Associated with, in August 2022, she threw out the opening pitch at a Chicago Cubs home game. Wow. That's a lot of info right there for someone who's only 24, but she's a big star. That just shows you one of the biggest stars in the WNBA today. But I remember hearing a lot of news about her, especially her final year at the University of Iowa. Yeah, Five Tear. I assume you were you watching Iowa women's basketball that year with Caitlin Clark in 2023, 2024? That was the year where they went to the National Championship game. I think they played against South Carolina. Yeah. So this year will be Caitlin's third season in the WNBA. And yeah, those were the years where women's basketball started to rise up and became huge. So that's really cool. Shout out to women's basketball. Yeah. So now she's with the Indiana Fever. Maybe the Indiana Fever will do well after Indiana won the national championship in football. I don't know. I'm just saying. So, yeah, man. I do remember when she made history. She did made history. I'm just rereading this in my head. Yeah, she basically became the face. One of the new faces of women's basketball. Another one is, what's her name? Paige Beckers. It was last year when she got drafted in the WNBA. And I remember we got to see her against Clark in the WNBA, so that was really cool. I think she plays for Dallas, is that correct? If I can remember. So yeah. It's crazy, man. I know I mentioned that she's younger than me. I'm watching athletes that are now younger than me. Makes me feel kind of old. But then you got some players that are a lot older than me that are still great, like Novak Djokovic, Stan Wawrinka in tennis, you know. Okay, the next player. Okay, so those are the belated birthdays. Today's birthday, we only got one, but there's really two but only one from the famous birthday website. So, happy birthday to J.T. Barrett, who played quarterback at Ohio State. Oh, born in Wichita Falls, Texas. Quarterback who won the inaugural College Football Playoff National Championship game as a member of the Ohio State Buckeyes in 2015. He was considered a Heisman Trophy candidate early in the season before breaking his ankle in the game against the Michigan Wolverines. Before fame, he was a three-sport athlete at S.H. Rider High School in Wichita Falls, Texas. Trivia: in 2014, he set an Ohio State record by scoring 45 touchdowns in a single season. Wow. Family life: he has brothers named Steven and Xavier. Associated with, he was with the backup quarterback Braxton Miller at Ohio State until Miller went down with a shoulder injury. So yeah, I remember JT. He great quarterback for Ohio State over 10 years ago before he had that crazy injury, which pretty much unfortunately didn't really have an NFL career. I heard that he's now one of the coaches. Because I look up these players, right, to see how they're doing. So now JT, what's he doing now? He's not playing. He is the quarterback's coach for the Chicago Bears. Wow. Yeah, I remember they mentioned his name. The Bears' last playoff game. That's really cool. Before that, he was with the Detroit Lions as an offensive assistant in 2022 and as an assistant quarterback's coach in 2023 and 24. He's only 31. There's a lot of players that still play at the age of 31, but unfortunately for him, he didn't really have a professional career. So that is just one birthday on Famous Birthday. It's also Jason Goodall's birthday. Yes, the tennis commentator. Yeah, he's in Australia calling matches for ESPN. And he's got that British voice. He's been calling a bunch of matches for many, many years. So happy birthday to Jason Goodall, who is now 59, but he doesn't look like he's that old. He looks fantastic. He looks very healthy. Yeah, it's like, because I like ESPN's tennis coverage with the people on there. So whenever they're in Wimbledon, they usually celebrate Patrick McEnroe's birthday, because his birthday's on July 1st, which is Canada Day. I'll have to listen to his podcast tomorrow, hear his thoughts on the tournament as well as the U.S. Open, or not U.S., Australian Open, and the NFL playoffs. He'll probably give his predictions to the conference championship game. One more birthday, and that is early birthday. So for Saturday, and this person is Whit Merrifield, who is a former professional baseball player. He's now 36. No, he's 37, excuse me, because it's early birthday. Born in North Carolina. About dual position second baseman and left fielder for the Kansas City Royals, who made his debut in the major leagues with the ball club in May of 2016. Before fame, he played 3 seasons of collegiate baseball with the University of South Carolina. He was drafted by the Royals in the 2010 draft. which is weird because it's weird how they do their draft. He was drafted in the Royals in 2010, but he didn't make his debut until May of 2016, about 6 years later. Trivia: before making his major league debut, he spent years with. Okay, this is what he did. He spent years between the Burlington Bees, Wilmington Blue Rocks, Northwest Arkansas Naturals, and Omaha Storm Chasers. Family life: his father, Bill, was a baseball player for Wake Forest University. He has a younger sister named Cosner and a younger brother named Hite, H-I-T-E. Associated with, he's supplanted Omar Infant as the Royals' starting second baseman. So yeah, I don't really remember him quite well, but he's one of those players that I just remember his name. So let's see here. Whit Merrifield. Wow, he made his debut May 18, 2016, the day before my birthday. And okay, his last appearance was in September 30, 2024 for the Atlanta Braves. And he's now retired. Okay. But his career was well known when he played for the Kansas City Royals. And he's a 3-time All-Star too. All right. Okay, so those are all the birthdays here. Whew, that's a lot of talking. Well, I thought this episode would be shorter. Turns out it wasn't. Well, I guess it's only what? Last episode was about over 20 minutes. This is like over 20 minutes shorter. But it's because of the birthdays. I do like the birthdays. You know, something different to do. A new segment for KSN, I guess, to make it more entertaining, I guess. You know, because I didn't do this last year. And again, the reason why I'm doing happy early birthday and belated birthday is because I might not do this podcast next year. This could be my final year. Second and final year. I don't know. I mean, I still like doing it. But again, if it comes to a time where I don't really want to do it anymore, I will let you know in advance. Okay? I'm not just going to be like, okay, guys, that's it. I'm out of here. Goodbye forever. No. I'll let y'all know in advance. But this is a giant year in U.S. sports, like I said. So the earliest I can say goodbye is probably after the World Cup for soccer. Yep, that means I'll be here. I'll still do this podcast after the Super Bowl. Yeah, remember when I started this podcast, my goal was to do this for a whole year, if not until after Super Bowl 60. We are approaching Super Bowl 60, but we have big events. We got big USA events after the Super Bowl. World Baseball Classic in March, like I said. Oh yeah, before that, Winter Olympics in February. And then later in the summer, the World Cup. I have to talk about that. I have to give you my thoughts on those. So there you go. All right, that's about it, folks. So obviously the big thing happening, besides the Australian Open, is the NFL's conference championship games. We will find out which two teams will go to the Super Bowl. I have New England Patriots winning the AFC Championship game, and I have the LA Rams winning the NFC Championship game. So therefore, I have Patriots-Rams Super Bowl. If that is a Super Bowl, I will cheer for New England, which is unusual. But I kind of like this new New England team. Yeah, get it? New England team. So yeah. Oh, man, I just really wish the Buffalo Bills were in it. And I wish Bo Nix was playing. Now, no Buffalo Bills, no Bo Nix. This just makes it. That's why it makes this game less exciting. Oh well, injuries suck. And here's the danger music. So yeah, I'll be watching more Australian Open as well as the NFL Final Four teams. Have a great weekend. I guess I will be back on Monday finally. See ya. This has been KSN.